Super is better than GT. Not really a hot take. I just like the GT slander. They're like, it's literally a war between Super and GT fans. Ladies and gentlemen, these are back to your specially brilliant Dragon Ball hot takes. Pre-Zamasu, pre-wasted character, pre-new best antagonist. Here's the parlay. Let's see if it hits. We're going to start off with the very first response. Super 17 is the best arc and villain in all of Dragon Ball. So you started off with Bait. He used to be believable. Bait used to be believable. Now I'm assuming he did this for the memes because, you know, he has the perfect he's just missing the that's all you're missing. That's all you're missing. But I'm completely convinced that you're not even stupid. I am convinced this is Bait. So I'm not even gonna rant. If any of you like Super 17 remotely, you're stupid. He's a bad character. The arc is arguably worse. GT isn't a good show and has bad fights. Most fights in the show are just half good or just aren't good at all. You know, the more that we randomly go back and watch GT, and we might do that tonight, follow us on TSO, follow me at TSO_stage on Twitch. If we watch GT tonight, let alone any other random time we watch GT, I have sat back and said, damn, this fight was, in terms of just like a Dragon Ball fight, this fight was cool. I'll give you that. There is not, and I think GT fans would even admit, despite the thematic, just the visual aesthetic of a fight, they're cool. And I think that's fine. There's a lot of anime that only have cool fight scenes. One Piece for a long time, fight scenes, it's just cool. But the narrative carried. My Hero Academia, I know it gets a lot of shit, but at some point My Hero fights do start to look better. But earlier on, it was just about the narrative. But this was when My Hero was like top 60 episodes of all time kind of hype. So yeah, so you don't need to have peak fights in your show to be good. And I think GT fans would at least accept that their fights aren't this cream de la crop. Now, when you say the show's bad in its entirety, that's entirely different. I would obviously, like if I was a GT stan, be upset. For me, I think GT just has a lot of hit or misses, but great concepts. I think like Super 17, that probably, I probably would have packed that up altogether. But like the Shadow Dragons arc, the Omega Shenron, all that other shit, that shit sound good. But like you only gave me 3 dragons of the 8 that I care about. Yes, I understand, or 7. Yes, I understand that most had to be side characters, most had to be one-offs, but goddamn it, did one have to be a goddamn badger mole, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Did it have to be that low of a floor for the other dragons? The par niggas, that shit was ass. Baby is obviously their home run heavy hitter. I do like the Baby arc. I don't have too many complaints about it, but I think at the end of the day, I don't want to say GT is bad, but it definitely, a lot of GT fans will hold you to the cross and be like, shame you, you're not a real Dragon Ball fan, spitting their fucking holy water at you, divine water at you, I'm sorry. And it's like, nah, there's flaws with the show, the same way there's flaws with Super, because for some reason they bring up Super every time. Anyway, appreciate that take though. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot's combat is bad and repetitive. Ooh, a video game take. It's not bad. It is definitely repetitive. I wouldn't call it bad though. Every boss fight feels unique. Playing with every time you fight as Goku, as Gohan, as Vegeta, while you're in the arc prior to the next transformation, yes, it feels repetitive. 100%, no debate. It is just straight up repetitive. However, in terms of the fights themselves, fighting Kid Buu, fighting Yakon for who the knows why, fighting Zarbon, Nappa, like literally the boss fights feel entirely different every time. But combat with the person you are using, yes, there's no argument that it's repetitive. So I wouldn't call it bad. It's just fortunately a little repetitive. Kid Buu is the strongest Buu simply because Toriyama probably thought that he was. No matter how much you try to power skill and no matter how many feats you use, Kid Buu will always be the strongest because Toriyama more than likely interpreted him to be. So this is what we call, and I'm going to Google it to make sure, I want to say a fallacy, but this is referred to as the death of the author. Essentially, it's a literary theory that argues that the meaning of the text is not determined by the author's intentions, but the reader's intentions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, so he's right. No, that's the fallacy. That's the fucking fallacy. That we are not allowed to interpret anything in any way, shape, or form because this is what the author meant. So if the author, let's say Toriyama just wakes up tomorrow and he's like, gang, all that shit's cool and all, Goten one shots the verse. No. He has to write that. He would have to write it at some point to say that Goten one shot the verse. Stories, movies, all these other things. Yes, at some point we can interpret that as okay. So the next chapter or the chapters coming up, Goten's off the screen, low-key stronger than niggas. Cool, but we don't have to sit there and be like, oh, back then when he wrote it, whole time. Oh yeah, Goten was just one tapping niggas. That's literally no, gang. That's just straight up like I don't want to just keep dying on this fallacy thing because someone's gonna well actually me here, and I'm a little rusty on my debate terms. But long story short, nigga, that's a weak sauce argument. That is a straight up weak sauce argument. Namek Saga Vegeta is easily the best version of the character. Seeing him play a cat and mouse strategy to get the Dragon Balls from Frieza and then being forced to team up with Krillin and Gohan against Ginyu. His character then comes full circle in trusting Goku in the end. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say, you could argue it's the best. I definitely have it as my favorite. Let me be very clear. If I had to say what is your favorite version of Vegeta, it is Namek Vegeta. It's the Vegeta that is easily fuck you, no shit Sherlock. He's the anti-hero. It's the Vegeta whose ambitions are clear cut. You get the most Vegeta speeches in it. You get the emotional Vegeta scenes in it. And you get to see Vegeta have some good looking fights and some bad looking fights. It's everything about Vegeta. That's why it's my favorite version. I can understand someone saying it's not the best because Buu exists. I do understand that. I can understand someone saying it's not the best because Super Vegeta in the manga exists. I understand that. And best is very much like, you know, a subjective thing that people try to make an objective thing. And sometimes I will as well. But in this case, it's pretty fucking close. You could even argue Saiyan Saga Vegeta. I think Vegeta's a good character. Sometimes overrated, but a great character nonetheless. And Namek Saga is my favorite version. So I'm not mad at this at all. I may have just yapped, but hey, you understood it. Jiren shows us that beings, with nothing special about them could be powerful. So if he wanted to, Toyotaro could make the humans powerful. I mean, again, it's kind of like what we just talked about. If Toyotaro woke up and was like, fuck it, Krillin Dolo's cool, but he would have to make sense about it. It's not a Jiren ideal exist. So now we can just bullshit shit. So Sage, shut the fuck up, do-rag bitch. You can make, that's not how that works. There's logistics and things. I get the idea that you all want Krillin to be able to punch Goku in the face and him not get back up again. I get that you niggas want Tien Shinhan to look Vegeta in the eye with his purple fucking hair and say Kiko Ho and Vegeta just evaporates. I understand these things. I truly do. But at the end of the day, the writing has to make sense in things. We don't need to, as a Dragon Ball community, especially as the Dragon Ball community, need to argue that things need to make less sense and just be more biased than Zybes. We are literally the last community to say that. Now that I really think about it, of all anime fans, Dragon Ball fans do not need to be sitting here telling niggas, yeah, shit don't need to make sense. It just needs a thumbs up from the author. That is the last That is the last thing the Dragon Ball community needs. Holy shit. Furthermore, I would even go as far as to say that when you talk about Jiren's ideology, Jiren was proven wrong by Goku. If Jiren's ideology and path to power was correct, he would have won the fight. In fact, it's the only reason. Him realizing he was wrong is symbolized in the show visually and quite literally when he's able to stand up against Frieza and Goku, but he doesn't have a Frieza. He doesn't have a 17, and he meets the fucking Mu because of it. Putting that fucking take on Jiren of all characters is actually not a good argument for you. This is the best Goku and Vegeta have been able to work together in a fight. No, and I guess I'll be the trigger alert. They work very well in Super. They just do in the Tournament of Power. They just do. Anime Edition, they just do. The combined attacks they had towards Jiren was just like, they were. It was illustrated. I think they even talked about it. They just straight up box better in there. In the manga as well, yeah, I'd probably say so as well. Yeah, I'd say Tournament of Power Jiren is there, but this is up there, absolutely. This is better than probably any form of them fighting together in Z. Yeah, no, this is better than them fighting in Z because they barely fucking fight together in Z. So this is a strong second. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely, I'm definitely taking how they performed in Tournament of Power. Tien's a fake-ass friend for this one. If I was Big Goku, I would never talk to Three Eyes ever again. Where's Tien Shinhan? He is not coming. He said he won't see us again. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. What am I guess, nigga. I don't. The top 5 Dragon Ball villains in order are Super / Kid Buu, Cell, King Piccolo, Vegeta, and Frieza. Ooh, there's Arlington. We are live in Arlington, Texas. The fuck does Polar Bear get here? I just don't see the King Piccolo as like a top 3 antagonist thing. I just don't. I'm sorry. He just so... For as menacing as he is, he's just kind of dumb. I'm just not a fan. Obviously, my manga nigga's gonna name Moro. I just don't see it. I just do not see it at all. But I mean, he's not ass. Let me be very clear. I just don't see top 3. But he's not ass. The rest of your list is fine. Like literally, you think Dragon Ball Z had the best antagonist. Cool. I would say Piccolo Jr. And that's probably a scorcher. I'm probably the only one that feels that way. There's my hot take. I like Piccolo Jr. as an antagonist a lot more. I do. I ain't gonna lie. Piccolo Jr. was cool. Piccolo Jr. You wanna know why? Piccolo Jr. was cool. That old fuck was annoying. We done with the 90s. Cold take. You say cold take until you go to every top 10 antagonist video and Piccolo Senior, Demon King Piccolo is higher than all of them. It's not a cold take. That's low-key the hot take. Super Manga coming back over Dayama Delilah Delora. That's not fair because no shit. That's not fair because no shit. It's not a hot take. That's a cold take. Everyone obviously, if Moro was animated, if Granola was animated, if, you know, the forms that certain characters get were animated, oh my fucking God. But it also has like hype and expectation in what's going to be changed going forward. Furthermore, that's just how typical anime works. So an entirely new series that's also in the past rather than moving the story along, of course, the super manga is going to be seen as something that if it were to drop tomorrow and Delilah were to say, hey, we dropped all our episodes tomorrow, what would Dragon Ball fans choose to watch if they could only watch one? They'd watch episode 1 of the super manga 10 out of 10. It's not an indictment on Delilah Delora. It's just a matter of, yo, there's an entire fucking manga of the series I love out there. When can I see it? That's a cold take. I hope you're not saying this to poo-poo on Delilah because it's not bad. Furthermore, Delilah's actually pretty damn good right now. Super is better than GT. Not really a hot take. I just like the GT slander. So yeah, like I keep saying, they're right here. They're like, it's literally a war between Super and GT fans. I will always come out the gate and say, hey gang, me personally, I favor Super, but GT isn't bad. I keep telling niggas GT's not this caca dog shit that people make it. It just has a lot of flaws you got to turn your brain off and have a good time on. Now, when I say that, the GT fans put a fucking knife to my neck. I try to be the man that enjoys everything, and I end up getting cooked by everyone involved. I literally don't hate GT. I don't hate Super. I realize that both are far worse than Z. Yes, I said far worse than Z. Delilah's on a stretch to potentially be better than at least one of them. And original Dragon Ball, if you don't like Z being better than both, definitely stomps both. So yeah, this is like low-key the mid-off of the Dragon Ball community, but I guess this is what y'all like arguing about. Jiren winning the Tournament of Power and eventually wishing back all the universes would have been a better plotline. I'm so pissed off that someone then commented, facts. Jesus Christ. Okay, boom. Jiren wins. What does that even prove? Jiren, after abandoning his friends, understands the power in friendship, but because he doesn't have any friends with him, he's just so strong to beat up Goku with all of his friends. Mind you, he was weaker than Goku at his strongest, and therefore gets the W. That makes more sense than Goku proving he was stronger, but still could not do it alone. So then the power of his friends and unlikely allies to the point of fucking Frieza getting the elimination because he always understood the power of friendship is worse. Okay, so that's the narrative shit aside. Now, let's talk about the coolness of the show. Jiren packs up Goku and he's like, my Ultra Instinct doesn't work. Then what? He just has like an ass whooping towards Frieza in 17 because they wouldn't stand a fucking chance. Versus, I don't know, Goku and Frieza having one of the coolest moments in Dragon Ball history. The worst part is people going to comment, no, let them cook. I hate you too. Cooking that weak ass baloney. Oh, well, here we go. GT over Super. So if I have to say something about GT that is definitely better than Super, I still think, despite the concepts that Super adapts in the manga, I still think GT conceptually was like designed to be better. And I do think GT definitely takes itself more serious than Super a lot of the time. Super builds itself out a lot via the tournament things. It has 2 tournament arcs. One of them we don't talk about. It has a bad Frieza revival arc. We don't talk about that shit. At least GT was willing to try shit. GT, if there's anything a GT fan can call a Super fan as a coward, them GT niggas was willing to try any motherfucking thing. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. Anybody who says Frieza isn't racist, read this shit. What's up with this guy? Why is he only going after us Saiyans? Why indeed? Let's just chalk it up to prejudice. Yeah, it was. Oh man, see, this is where I feel bad. Never heard anyone say Frieza isn't racist. Because like it was one guy in the community, but that's my point. My community is so. I'm not saying we're the largest. I'm not saying we're the biggest. The largest. You feel me? Not saying any of that, right? I'm humble where I'm at right now. This shit can fall off. I cannot get another sub. But the community that I have, as thankful as I am for it, you niggas are a community. I mean, holy shit. You would think, right, that nobody is sitting here telling you Zamasu's better than Frieza. You would think of all the characters in Dragon Ball, nobody would look you in the eye and say Dabura's the most wasted. You would think, right, that niggas wouldn't tell you that Goku could beat Super Perfect Cell. You would think that nobody would sit there and tell you Frieza's not racist. You ain't been in a TSO stream. And it's just so what the fuck. It's just such a what the fuck community sometimes, man. People that say GT developed Vegeta's character better than Super are dead wrong. Vegeta and GT takes place after EOZ, whatever the fuck that means. I think end of Z. There we go. Vegeta and GT takes place after the end of Z, while Dragon Ball Super is before. Of course, he's going to be more matured, even though he acts like his Z self in the 17 arc. His GT self still has his careless Japanese. I mean, I do think at some point in time, especially by this point in time, without getting too far into that, yeah, Super does go a different path that GT fans won't give Vegeta credit for. By the way, at this point, the title's going to be which is better, Super or GT, because my God. Obviously, this picture of memes is cap. This isn't a no development achieve form by a machine type of thing. Because if we really got to talk ball, for all the strengths and weaknesses GT has, we ain't gonna act like Super is this thing that didn't fucking miss with this great development that power rivals the gods, all these things like that. Super, on 2 occasions, calls back to Dragon Ball Z just to kind of get a nostalgia pop out of Vegeta fans. On 2 occasions, with the final Flash and with the final Atonement that's not final anymore. So no, I'm not going to sit there and just let someone act like Super is the peak of peak in terms of Vegeta's development. And I'm not going to let someone sit there and act like Super has completely missed all the marks in terms of Vegeta's development and then be like, oh yeah, but GT, absolutely nothing wrong. No, he actually unironically made some points. He just did it in like, damn, I'm not listening to this messenger kind of way. Oh Lord, speaking of my community. Vegeta should have defeated. Okay, so pause, time out, pause. So now you guys have had Goku beating Cell. Now let's see why y'all have Vegeta beating Cell. Vegeta should have defeated Cell instead of Gohan. It would also be better writing if he beat Kid Buu by a sacrifice but never came back. Okay, now hear me out. Let's start with Cell. Sure, there is a clear point in time where Vegeta could have beat Cell. But at that point, Krillin should have stepped on the remote. At that point, Piccolo probably should have beat Cell. At that point, Trunks probably should have beat Cell. There's several points in time where Cell should have died. We know that. We understand. Now, if you're talking about perfect Cell, what the fuck are you on? Now that that's done, it would be better writing if he beat Kid Buu. Well, let's talk about how you get the Kid Buu. You get the Kid Buu because Vegeta made a sacrifice to stall for time against Majin Buu. So are you saying Majin Buu pops out, nobody does nothing, Buu wins, or like what does that happen? So because obviously at some point we know Buu regenerates, yep, whatever. But you want to write the show to where Majin Vegeta, which how would he still be Majin? That's another. Yeah, there's a hold on. My head. Okay. 1, so Buu just has even more free time than he already has when the Buu saga is illustrated to you on several occasions that it's a time crunch arc. Like every second mattered. 2, Majin Vegeta. How? I'm not gonna lie. So you have Vegeta, no M on his forehead, blowing up and beating Kid Buu? Or Vegeta just doesn't die the entire time, but then they don't decide to fuse. So then when Super Buu spawns, they just don't lose to that nigga, I guess. And then when Gotenks gets absorbed, they just don't lose to that nigga, I guess. And then when they would consider their own fusion, they just don't. And then yeah, gang, no, it's not better writing. Furthermore, in the last part where the power skillers cringed, I got you.
Yeah, there's no fucking way that Vegeta should kill Kid Buu.
That's probably the worst, most Vegeta glazed thing possible. Why the fuck would Vegeta get a power up if, mind you, he blew himself up and couldn't beat Fat Buu? You then want to eclipse, whether you believe Super Buu or Kid Buu is stronger, you want to eclipse Super Buu, Buu Tanks, and Buuhan. So have him beat Kid Buu all the way to the end. Whichever order you think. You could think Kid Buu's the fucking weakest there, gang. Which I probably assume you don't, considering what you just typed. But you just want this nigga to be not only on Goku's level, but then surpass it because he killed himself? Yeah, just stronger than fucking Spirit Bomb, really? It would have been a better decision to revive Cell over Frieza for the Tournament of Power, and he was able to match Super Saiyan 2 Gohan off one Zenkai boost and his Saiyan DNA to give him more room to grow.
Nah.
That's hindsight. And I'm the person that drafted Cell in my Universe 7 redraft. But over Frieza, you lost your mind. Do you understand that there's like a verse where Cell was just dog shit down there? And hear me out. I understand that he could be this, could be that. I fully, like, gang, we're right here. But I think it's much more logical for them to go, okay, now hear me out. Frieza, last time we saw him on Namek, about Super Saiyan first time level, okay? He came back and in base form beat Gohan, who beat Buu. And now maybe Gohan's a bit weaker than that. Hell, maybe he's a bit weaker than Cell. He's surely stronger than when he was on
fucking Namek.
And just one tap. Okay, all right. So there's that, and that's in his first form, which was his final form. So the worst case, worst case, Gohan tracksuit is Namek level Goku Super Saiyan level. Let's nasty downplay an already downplayed character. Let's like pummel it to the point where we can deduce that full power Frieza and first form Frieza from Super are the same. Not true, but let's just go with that. He then transformed to his final form, and again, I'm downplaying here. Final form Frieza, still mating with God Key base Goku. All right, okay. Then Goku just hair turns fucking blue, and this nigga turns
fucking gold.
And they actually aren't still mating. Golden Frieza's stronger. He just didn't practice the form. As a result, he loses the fight. Gang, I hate to be that guy, but them niggas being in that lab going, now what if we brought Cell is a lot crazier than just saying bring Frieza back. Especially considering that Frieza is less likely to, I don't know, blow himself up. Frieza is definitely the pick there. You tripping. This is the way to close us out. Take out Immortal Zamasu, and Goku Black arc is 100 times better. I already think it's the best. I just hated Immortal Zamasu. We got another Goku Black arc is king. We had to end the video with someone telling us that Goku Black is king. By the way, I'm all for character actually being immortal. I just think Zamasu's fucking stupid. But let me know your thoughts, man. The Goku Black arc, man, that's the peak of this community. Maybe Super is overrated, GT fans. Maybe I might gotta switch team, GT fans, because these niggas and this goddamn Black arc is crazy. Let me know your thoughts. Comment below your personal hot take. Comment below how stupid I am and things of that nature. Comment how comment 234 was actually a clean hot take. Whoa. Take care, stay blessed.